You're still watching the City of Lagos TV show on TV Nigeria. Welcome to the Lagos Agencies in Focus, where we take a look at the giant strides, achievements, and of course the success stories of the agencies in Lagos. And today our very special focus is on the Lagos State Technical and Vocational Education Board, Lastveb, under the able leadership of Ms. Morunke Aziz. Madam, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me here.
Madam, our mission here is to verify and ascertain the level of initiatives and efforts being made to create a highly powerful, skilled Lagos. Okay, but first, what is the mandate, vision, and mission statement of Lastveb? And to what extent has the agency's set objectives fall in line with the Themes Plus agenda of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu?
First and foremost, we are the agency responsible for implementing government policy on technical and vocational education, whether it's the federal or the state level. We are also responsible for managing the 5 government technical colleges. We provide various advice to outside agencies on technical and vocational education. And we also carry out various vocational education training. Our mission is to provide industry responsive and gender inclusive technical and vocational education for the labor market, for self-employment, or even for lifelong learning.
What about the vision?
Is to be the excellent training provider in Africa on technical and vocational education.
What are the key operational functions, the responsibility of Lastveb?
We provide technical and vocational education, and our technical and vocational education, the first one is a formal education, formal technical education for the 15 to 19-year-old students. They come out of the junior secondary school and they go into the technical college as an alternative pathway into education. So this alternative pathway provides them that choice of whether they go into general education or they come into technical education. And the technical education has been a fantastic option for them instead of just failing and then wandering around, not having anything to do. So it is, in terms of strategy, a very, very significant and important strategy for ensuring that the 15 to 19-year-old, they have the skill, they have the knowledge and competency to be able to go out into the world to be a productive citizen.
Thank you very much. So, as a skill acquisition and capacity building organization, does Lastveb have training the trainer scheme? Because for you to run such an establishment, those who are training the youths must be well trained. So what's your selection method and how professional and competent are they?
I'll take a step back and say that we have 3 focus areas. The first focus area is the continuous professional development of our technical education instructors and administrators. Then the second focus area is improving and the quality of all the technical colleges that we have. Not only improving the quality, but there are quality dimensions within that, continuously improving that. And then the third focus area is on developing centers of excellence with partners. So in that first focus area is having competent instructors. Because we have made it a focus area, it means we prioritize the learning or the development of our teachers, our instructors. So every single year, we spend quite a significant amount of time ensuring that our instructors are well trained. So for example, we've had our instructors, 38 of them, who were trained in Germany, and we were sponsored by a partner of ours. Internally, we have various resources as well that we also use in terms of training our instructors. But we definitely train instructors because we value and we believe that it is what the instructors have is what they can give back. And if we're now saying and we want to follow the passion of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to build a very skilled network of professionals, then we must focus on the instructors and their skill requirements.
When it has to do with skill development, day in, day out, there are new developments, new ideas, new information technology. So how proactive is Lastveb in trying to make sure that your instructors or your trainers, follow best practice experience?
First and foremost, we have created what you call an ICT stroke LMS department. And one of the mandates of that department is to ensure that all our training content is digitalized. And in doing so, it means that we must train all our instructors on how to develop digitalized content, digitalized scheme of work and curriculum. And apart from that, all our students, they must have what you call the general background of ICT. It's a generic subject that all of them go through. And then also, there are some of those new tools, new technology that they imbibe within their training. So we are definitely conscious of the fact that the world is moving on. They must move on as well.
Now, does Lastveb have a monitoring mechanism to follow up progressive growth and advancement of the graduates after graduation? Or is just that they just pass through your training programs and they are left alone?
When it comes to mentoring and supporting our students, internally, before they even go out, we've started supporting them. We have what you call the Career Guidance Counseling Department. And within that department, their role is continuously guide the students in terms of the options in life, in terms of the skill area that they're considering, in terms of all the available options that are out there for their career development. We bring in different partners who come to talk and mentor those students. There is a whole quality assurance department as well to ensure that the training, the teaching and learning are also up to the standards of the MBT requirements. When they go out in their second year to their students' industrial work experience, we have a team of staff as well who go out to monitor their activities. When they complete at the end of the 3 years, there are also options for them through the partnerships that we have built for either employment or internship or apprenticeship as well. So all those kind of things ensure that we're keeping up to date with what is going on with our students.
Fantastic. Now, what are the major significant achievements? Because since you came on board, I'm sure you have a list of very successful achievements of the agency. And to what extent have you brought your wealth of experience to bear to achieve these giant strides?
I first of all would like to say, thank you very much to our governor, because if our governor was not very passionate about technical and vocational education and skills development, we would not have achieved so much. We've done hundreds of training for our instructors, whether they're instructors carrying out plumbing, whether they're ICT teachers, whether they're mechatronic instructors, whether they are fashion, whether they are the culinary. There are all sorts of various training, intensive training. Even some of our instructors have gone on what we call teachers' industrial experience to ensure that they go out into the industries to find out what are the new things, what are the new trends that are going on, and come back into our establishment to make sure that they are also inculcating that into their curriculum, into their scheme of work, and into the teaching and learning. And when you now move on to the student side or the vocational aspect side, I informed you earlier that we have 2 sets of training going on. We have the formal technical education, and then we have what you call the informal vocational, which we call skills for work. A lot of work has also gone on into our skills for work program, where those that are unemployed, those that are not in any form of training or haven't even decided what they want to do with their life, those ones, they come into our various programs that we provide under the skills for work. And some of these ones, we're pleased to say that we have partnership with private sector who would say, you know what, we would support you in training this X amount of students or in this particular area. We've done solar, we've done garden and maintenance, we've got whole construction aspects of it in various fields of construction. We've thought that that one of our training was in partnership with Kensington Adebutu Foundation, who has supported us as well enormously with that. There are over 10,000 students that every single day that we provide training in the formal technical education. So there's a lot of activities that are going on. And then we also provide training to artisans. This year we've trained 1,200 artisans in partnership with the Ministry of Wealth Creation. Every year we support them in training that. And with students' industrial work experience, of course, we've changed it, we've improved the quality to make sure that we liaise with our partners. And those partners, we set objectives with them in terms of what the students want to achieve. So when they get there, the students too are focused. Our partner who has taken them on is also focused, and they have a diary that every single week they're noting down the objectives that they have achieved, in order to make sure that we have a much more intensive practical skills experience for our students. We have revamped our practical scheme of work. We've developed a new one in partnership as well, so that we are outside looking, not inward looking. And we've tested it out and we've rolled it out now. And that makes it a bit more intensive when we're talking about practical experiences. The governor has supported us in buying a lot of tools and equipment. We've repaired and serviced our equipment as well, our tools. Even some of our students, because of the innovative and the creativity aspects that we have brought into the technical college teaching and learning, some of them have won competitions abroad. Some of them have gone to Japan, to South Africa, to Liberia, to various places, because they have taken part in those kind of creativity and innovative competitions. And I think you watched our graduation, where we had over 2,000 students who graduated successfully. And when people saw our students, they were really marveled, surprised that this kind of level of knowledge or competency were being achieved by our students. We also should note that all our courses are accredited, and they are accredited through a national regulating body as well. So that means that we have good quality standards when it comes to the technical education that we provide. Still talking about our achievements, in order to ensure that we're following Lagos State's Themes Plus agenda, we have also set up a department called Gender Equality and Social Inclusion. And that department to basically looking at a strategy of how to include female students in male-dominated fields such as the engineering, the electrical works, and so on, because we have found that most of those areas, females avoid them. So we're doing a lot of mass promotion that, yes, there are opportunities there, and female students can have that opportunity in that area. And we have been getting students who are going into the male-dominated trade areas for training. Still on achievements, just recently, Lastveb launched what we call the Southwest Technical Education Providers Forum. And our deputy governor, supported by coming in to open the forum, and spoke extensively on the need for Southwest collaboration. The aim for us was to ensure that Lagos State is moving well ahead. We've achieved quite significantly when you talk about technical education. However, for us to achieve more, we need to ensure that we bring others along, because we believe that the more voices are together, the better it is for moving forward. And so we looked towards our Southwest colleagues, our Southwest, to collaborate with us in terms of how and where or what, in terms of implementing all these new policies that are coming out from the federal around technical and vocational. And we started realizing that the policies and the implementers were not aligning, and we needed to align. We needed to all collaborate for the good of Nigeria and for the good of our state and for the good of Southwest.
Are you also looking at the possibility of other Southwest states adopting the Lagos template?
We had a 2-day workshop or a 2-day forum meeting talking extensively about how we can work together as Southwest. And some of the things that came out of it was, for the next step is, how do we start collaborating? How do we share best practices? How do we advocate as a body? How do we link up with the Dawn agenda? And so many other things like that came out from it. And it was a very useful deliberation.
That's quite good to know. Now, it would be apt to ask this question. Is Lastveb a desirable alternative to university polytechnic education, where you train individuals in different vocational trades?
I would promote technical education because I am very passionate about it. I believe that our young people must have a skill. If they're not in general education, they have to have an alternative for their own life career and their own life chances. And that's where I believe that the technical and vocational is very, very important. And nowadays you find that because of the awareness that has been created around technical and vocational, it is no longer seen as something that only riffraffs or whatever in the society are going into. We have found and we have seen that there is value in technical and vocational education. So if that is what it is a choice of that child or that youth, then we must encourage, we must support and make sure that we do it very well in order to provide that life chance for that student or for the students. And whether it's general education, whether it's technical education, there are all alternative pathways leading to productive citizenship.
Lagos, as a cosmopolitan city, is a city that has an ever-growing population. Would like to know, is there any effort you make to try to mobilize, to make sure that quite a number of people are aware of what you're doing, so that you can be able to bring within the Lastveb dragnet as much as you can to come in and take advantage of what the best training you are offering?
Our major focus areas are on those students that are coming in or that have finished their junior secondary school in Lagos State. The technical education is a 3-year course. And at the end of that 3 years, they are certified nationally by Lastveb. And when they finish that Lastveb exams, it is equivalent to the senior secondary school, WAEC. And that is why their certificate enables them to do 3 things. They can go into higher education, they can go into self-employment, or they can go into the labor market. It's under the Skills for Work program for the unemployed youth and those that are not in training that we create that awareness that we too, we have an option for you. But the bulk of those ones that you are mentioning just now are under the purview of the Ministry of Youth and Social Development, or under Ministry of Women's Affairs and Poverty Alleviation.
In case you just join us, we've been speaking with the Executive Secretary of the Lagos State Technical and Vocational Education Board. She's been able to, so far, give us some very impressive insight into the efforts and initiatives of the agency. So, Madam, Lagosians would like to know, having completed the Lastveb training, it's one thing to be a graduate. Another thing is to have access to finance to possibly set up. Some of them might want to go solo to set up their own business. So is the agency in any way facilitating access to financial credit for graduates?
I really like that, because when we did our graduation, Mr. Governor mentioned that we must link up with the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund so that those who would like to become self-employed can go and get support from the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. So that will be one of the areas that we're really looking into. And of course, if there are any other agencies, we'll make sure that our students get that benefit when they finish.
All right. For a strategic agency of this nature, of course, there is the need, very necessary need, to collaborate and synergize with other strategic ministries. I know you've mentioned a few of the ministries, but can you describe what has been the level and the nature of synergy between your agency and other strategic ministries, both in government and, of course, in the private sector?
You see, the unique thing about technical and vocational education is that although we fall under the education and technology pillar, but our outcome, or our output, as we would say, cuts across all the Theme Plus areas. Transportation, there are technicians that are repairing those vehicles. There are technicians that are manufacturing, making those techniques. Healthcare, you'll find that there is no area that you cannot find, or you will not find, technical or a vocational person involved in ensuring that those things are there. And at the same time, it means we have to link up with so many other agencies. We link up with Ministry of Science and Tech to make sure that we are modernizing. We discuss in terms of how we move our teaching and learning forward in terms of ICT, in terms of technology. We are constantly working with Ministry of Wealth Creation on the development of artisans. We are working with WAPA when it comes to looking at their content and their certification. We're working with Ibile Oil and Gas. We become partners. Ibile Oil and Gas has trained 20 of our instructors. Those instructors are going to become part of those ones who are going to be converting the cars. Our students, based on that, are going to be trained. We are going to develop centers of excellence in 4 of our technical education to make sure that private people can also come in and get their cars converted there. And of course, like I said, we have a number of private sector. I must mention GIZ, that's been a formidable partner.
Are there any challenges? Because Lastveb is everywhere, and having recorded these giant strides, there must be some challenges. And have you been able to mitigate against them?
Our success, I would say, is our challenge. And because of all the activities that we have been doing, because of the level of success of our students, and word of mouth really matters. So before you know it, we're having much more students that are coming in. We want to come into technical colleges. We want to come into technical colleges. As a result, we're now finding that we are now becoming overcrowded because more and more and more students want to come in. So that's what I would say are the major challenges in terms of the workshop, in terms of the classes. But with the support of the Commissioner for Education and the Governor, they have started thinking about the long term, which is having additional technical colleges. We have 5 technical colleges, and they are based along the Ibile in Agidingbi, Ekpe, we have in Adosoba, we have in Ikorodu, we have in Ikotun, we have another one that is coming up in Yaba. And then for our short-term vocational colleges, we have skills for work programs that we carry out in those areas as well.
How would you want to describe Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's support for Lastveb?
He cares about youth. And because he cares about youth, he does everything in his power to make sure that they are looked after in Lagos State by having the right skill, the right knowledge to be able to contribute to Lagos State development and also contribute to their own personal life and economic development of themselves and economic growth of themselves. So thank you very much to Mr. Governor. We have got so much support that it has allowed us to do so many activities as we have highlighted. And those activities has translated into the success of all the students that are coming out of technical colleges.
What are the future plans? What should Lagosians expect?
I see us embedding most of those activities that we have highlighted. I see us focusing much more on technology, as a way of ensuring that our students become more relevant and are more competitive in terms of the world, the society. I see more technical colleges being built to accommodate the thousands more that are coming in. I see a very bright future for Lagos State when it comes to skills development and technical education.
Very impressive. On a final note, what are your words of assurance and encouragement to your critical stakeholders and most importantly to Lagosians?
To our critical stakeholders, I would like to say that we have your back and we'll continue to have your back when it comes to training, when it comes to building your capacity, when it comes to supporting you in developing your career or your life choices in terms of your education, self-employment or higher education. We will continue to support in any way that we can to make sure that you fulfill your life opportunities. And for partners and Lagosians, thank you very much for believing us. Thank you very much for believing in Mr. Governor's mandate. And we trust and we believe that we'll continue to meet your expectations when it comes to service development.
So we want to thank you for coming on Lagos Agencies in Focus on the City of Lagos Division. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you.
And we want to wish you all the best. And with Lastveb, Lagos is surely rising.
Thank you very much.
But that's it on the Lagos Agencies in Focus segment on the City of Lagos Division TV Nigeria. We'll be speaking with Ms. Moronke Aziz, the able Executive Secretary of the Lagos State Technical and Vocational Education Board. It looks like, very obviously, technical and vocational education is the way to go for rapid national development. The City of Lagos TV show will continue in a moment. Stay tuned.
Lagos.